Hello everyone, and welcome to a new series on my channel called the ERTL Retrospective, where we will take a look at characters from the ERTL Thomas range and outline their production history, variants, and my personal opinions on them. Today I thought we would start out strong with our favourite ERTL Thomas. I hope you enjoy. ERTL was one of the first merchandise lines to produce toys under the Thomas & Friends license in 1984. Thomas was the very first model to be produced, and it is the most unique Thomas out of all of the versions. Originally, these models had sticker faces that came with extras of a tied face and another smiling face. These original models' faces took inspiration from Thomas's Railway series illustrations, and remained this way until 1990. Thomas had painted details combined with stickers depicting his windows and whistle, and small black stickers for his buffers. These were notorious for falling off and remained an issue well until the end of the ERTL range in 2004. Until 1987, every model made sported a white running board with red painted sides. These only were released with Thomas, James, and Henry before they were rebooted to the more common variant later. Thomas was produced on a blue card with his Railway series illustration on the front and pilot drawing on the back. I actually have an in-box Thomas. He's just the later model, one of my holy grails. In 1987, Thomas was updated to have a full red running board, still retaining most of his 1984 features, though this Thomas, which is the most common of the sticker faces, was produced until 1990. One thing to note about these early models is the plastic used on the running board. A shiny, more cool-toned red plastic was used, but it tended to warp and be flimsy, like on my Thomas here. This only made the thin couplings easier to break, which prompted a newer plastic on the 1989 models and a new coupling design on the 1990 model. This Thomas was sold with the same packaging as the 1984 Thomas, but there wasn't an alternative box-style package that it was available in. In this early period, a large motorized Thomas was also available that had a plastic molded face. It used the standard ERTL shape, but was just on a large scale. It never really saw an update into the 90s though. In 1990, all characters had an overhaul with new molded faces and updated couplings. This change was made for a slight improvement, but this coupling style still managed to break due to the plastic quality not being great. Thomas's face is decent, and while iconic to him, like many faces from the ERTL range, failed to capture the look of Thomas completely. Its awkwardly long appearance makes the model look longer, which has created this stigma of the ERTL Thomas being too long, as it seemingly stretches the model out. Along with the Shining Time Station being produced, Thomas was now made with this unique packaging style in the US only, to coincide with the show. This would remain until 1997 or so. Meanwhile, in the UK, all characters received a new portrait card style, and Thomas had a lovely hand-drawn image drawn by Owen Bell, and a blue background. This stayed until 2000 and was available in the US after 1997. Thomas remained relatively consistent with only minor paint changes like thinner lining and cleaner paint, but received his first variants this decade, such as the Metallic Thomas in 1998, which was the same but sported a metallic blue paint scheme, and a gold 50th anniversary Thomas in full gold in 1995, and finally a fully silver Millennium Thomas in 2000. Just to note, it's interesting how much the paint and lining changed over the 20-year period. I own 3 Thomases, all with different shades of blue, lining placement, and thickness, and I feel this is something no one really mentions about the ERTLs. Hi, this is editing me here. I just actually want to put in an extra bit, because I totally realized after I filmed everything that Thomas was retooled at some point, I assume in the late 90s or early 2000s. Like, the funnel is larger and wider. The coal bunker is a completely different shape. It's taller and the vents are lower. His tanks are completely different. and his splashes are taller. I only noticed this after I was comparing it to my early 90s Thomas, and I was wondering why the lining was so different. It's because the actual thing has wholly been retooled, and I don't think anyone really notices this. I think it's really interesting. Anyway, back to the video now. For the Thomas and the Magic Railroad movie, the ERTL packaging changed again for a limited time to promote the film. Thomas stayed this way for a year before changing to the blue card style of 2001, which continued until ERTL's discontinuation outside the UK. The only new version of Thomas at this time was the Holiday Thomas with a snowplow and Santa hat, which was also sold with the Santa hat version as well. For the first time in 12 years, finally Thomas received an update, but only in the form of the rear couplings. ERTL's couplings had always been fragile and prone to breaking, but their style meant that no engine could be connected together. The U-hook coupling was trialled, but rendered functionality with the previous models useless, as, while stronger, it made everything face backwards to use it. It also had a minor change to the front coupling, making it longer and more rounded like the newer models. This would be Thomas's last variant, as the line fully discontinued in 2004 with an unceremonious end to 20 years of production. The ERTL Thomas was the first die-cast model produced for the Thomas the Tank Engine brand, and despite some issues, I think it did well in representing the character of Thomas. My favourite variant would be the 1987 model, as I feel the sticker face just invokes that early Thomas vibe that the later models just don't really have. If I had it my way, I would have updated Thomas's face in the late 90s and changed the plastic quality to make for a better coupling strength and longevity. Now, let me know what you think. I'm planning for this series to evolve into a big video outlining the whole of the ERTL Thomas history, as I feel like it's kind of something that's been underlooked in the community, but hey, I'll see how this goes, and I'm thinking of looking at other models, but let me know what you think. This was What Is Workshop. Please subscribe, and thank you for watching. Bye.